Last night I had an upset stomach as an introduction to the Bangladeshi weight loss plan. Having trialled it, I've decided to discontinue. This morning I took some medication and I cancelled my subscription. We left for the airport, allowing plenty of time. There are protests on the streets again. A few weeks ago, protests and civil unrest saw the resignation of the government and the Prime Minister leave to residence in Dhaka. A caretaker government is in place, but people are unsure what will happen next. Protests today were asking for the resignation of the President. With the police being busy elsewhere, scouts and guides were directing the traffic. The trip to the airport was quick. Maybe the scouts and the guides should direct the traffic more often. Arriving in Delhi, we expected a busy airport in one of the world's busiest cities to be, well, busy. To our surprise, no lines, and our entry into India was straightforward and painless. Our driver was waiting for us, and after most of us had successfully negotiated the ATM, we were off. It's only a couple of weeks since India overtook China as the most populous country in the world. We are very small fish in a very large pond. Dinner at the Wild Cafe, then bed in anticipation of another busy day tomorrow. Last night was a quiet night. No constant blowing of horns and no call to prayer. It was birds, not the traffic, we heard when waking this morning. After breakfast, we ignored the advice about the air quality. Delhi is almost permanently under a red warning, advising people to stay indoors and keep your windows shut. We did wear masks, but a little bit of Delhi in our lungs was not going to stop us from slipping into tourist mode for a day. We headed to the Red Fort, so called because it is red and a fort. We travelled on foot and took advantage too of the metro underground train. You couldn't mistake Delhi for virtually any other large city in the world until you emerge again into the daylight, where you are again hit by the heat, the pollution, and hopefully not the traffic. The traffic here is every bit as busy as Dhaka, but it works. For the most part, people stay in their lanes, and police actually direct the traffic rather than cower from it. The Red Fort was built in the 17th century for the Mughal emperor. The many buildings that can be found amongst the green space within the Red Fort have been restored and repurposed as multiple museums commemorating great wars, occurrences in Indian history, and even the post office. Entrance to the Red Fort is through the Lahori Gate. Here you are greeted by the impressive red facade that reminded me of the Treasury in Petra. This leads to Chaka Chowk, the covered bazaar. This market has been here throughout the fort's history. The prices are fixed and the quality of items such as pashmina shawls and carved chess sets is high. This is certainly not the worst place to buy gifts or memorable souvenirs of our visit. Amongst the preserved buildings is DYAM. This audience hall is where the Emperor would greet members of the general population to hear their grievances. The architecture is beautiful and decorated with ornate carving and mosaics. There is so much to see, and we only managed a taste of this time. I could easily get myself lost here for a full day. The Rang Mahal, or the Palace of Colours, is a large hall originally painted on the interior, which is how it got its name. The inside is decorated with mirrors and is called the House of Mirrors. Over the walls and ceilings of these apartments, tiny pieces of mirror have been embedded which reflect the light and create a special effect. Through the centre along its length flows the channel known as the Stream of Paradise. After lunch we visited the markets of Old Dehli. Here on the streets the rickshaw is king. There are literally thousands of them. However, they're not able to negotiate the narrow alleyways of the market, which is arranged in soup. India's oldest electronics market can be found here. It's got spices, fabric, clothing, leather goods, you name it. Diwali is very soon, and much of the market was dedicated to selling lights to decorate your house, paint to colour yourself and your clothing, and of course fireworks. So many fireworks. To say the market was busy would be a complete understatement. Some concreted alleyways were literally shoulder wide, but accommodated two-way pedestrian traffic, some carrying sacks and boxes on their heads. It was like the mall on Christmas Eve. The quality and the range of things on sale was staggering. This is what Temu would look like if it was a store. Eventually it was time to return to our accommodation and collect our bags. We had a bus to catch. To get to the bus station we ordered 6 Uber tuk-tuks. They raced to our meeting point and we quickly boarded them in such a way we resembled contestants on The Amazing Race, each pair keen to be the first to the bus station. Our driver was so quick and good at zigzagging through the traffic, he would have got 5 stars if he had not missed our turn and offloaded us one street from our destination. We still made it to the bus in time to buy ice creams from a street vendor. We crossed the road in pairs to get our frozen treats, the prices of which seemed to go up each time. First 60 rupees, then 70, 80, 90. He certainly went home very happy. Our bus loaded, we climbed aboard what would be a 12-hour overnight transit to Manali. We left precisely on time at 6:30 p.m. 2 hours later we were still unsure whether we had left the city limits. What we were sure of was that this was not going to be a quiet journey, with the bus horn being persistent and a necessary tool for negotiating the traffic.